Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your boy Isaac, and I'm back again, yet with another video. Um, what I'm about to say. It's probably gonna be hard for some of y'all to swallow, and it's probably gonna be hard, for a lot of people to understand what I'm saying. But what I'm about to say is needful. Okay, so I'm just sitting here. I'm just relaxing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking to myself. And I said, you know what? I said, fathers are needed in this day in time, at this rightful moment. You know what I'm saying? I know how important, being a mother to your child is. I know how important it is for that woman, when she finds out that she's pregnant, mother and child have that bond from the time that she's pregnant over those 9 months. I know, that the woman goes through motion sickness, I mean, not motion, morning sickness, my bad. Morning sickness, throwing up. I know that they go through a lot of changes in their bodies and things like that. I know that, it can cause stress, you know what I'm saying? And it could very well cause her to have more mood swings as she, more than she would normally have. I know that, you know, it's not an easy thing carrying a child, you know what I'm saying, for 9 months, almost a year, you know what I'm saying, and going through all these mood swings and, still trying to, find herself and, still trying to think if she's very well capable of taking care of that child. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because whether or not the father is going to be in the picture, she still has to be that mother. She still has to be that caretaker. She still has to be, you know, um, the nurse, the doctor. Her job is never done. You know what I'm saying? She still has to make sure that no matter what happens, she got to make it happen, regardless as to what the situation is. So but what I really want to hit on today, this evening or whatever, this afternoon rather, is fathers are needed. And fathers are needed because fathers are needed. Not only to protect and provide, but they're supposed to be responsible for their child's upbringing as well. I get upset sometimes when I see these things. I see all these single mothers having babies and having a baby or two babies or three babies, four or five, six, and the father or fathers is not in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Don't make adult like decisions if you can't take care of adult like responsibilities. Don't get this woman pregnant. You know what I'm saying? If you don't plan on being in your child's life and being there for her, even if the relationship ends on a sour note, because sometimes just because you have a child with somebody, that does not necessarily mean that you're gonna be together or that you're supposed to be together. You know what I'm saying? Some people, when they find out they're pregnant and the baby's forming in her womb and growing and things, and she's eating the necessary things, giving her baby the nutrients that he or she would need to grow and things like that. You know, Sometimes they see that it won't work, and they're arguing a lot more. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more frustration. Sometimes people know then, because if a man is not going to treat you right, you know what I'm saying, while you carrying his child, then how do you expect him to respect you and to respect you are somebody and you're not just his baby's mother? And it's just mind boggling to me how all these guys, they're out here and they just sticking their thing in any and everything, and then they don't want to take responsibility when the baby comes, and it's like, bro, and it's just mind boggling to me because a lot of us come from broken homes. A lot of us come from homes where we saw our mother struggle, and we saw the absence of a father, and how important it is, as a young man, as a young man and a young woman, growing up, you know, whenever either parent is out of the picture, that a lot of times that really puts a lot on them, because they don't have that proper guidance. It maybe that their mom, she's working a lot. She may not be able to attend to them like she may want to, or how the child may want them to. And sometimes they get lost in the sauce because mom got to work. Mom got to work all these hours. Daddy's not around. Daddy's not there. Daddy, he's just non-existent at this point. They don't know where he is. They don't know his whereabouts. As far as you know, he just, he had you, he made you, and he just left. A lot of us come from that. So it's like, how could you come from that type of environment and then you still continue the same thing? How can you have an absentee father in your life and then when it's your turn to become one, you don't want to be one because you focus on the fact that, oh, my father wasn't there, so I'm not gonna be there. You a dummy. You're supposed to break the generational curses. Whatever your family is bound by, whatever your family went through, and you've seen firsthand, what type of effect that has on a child, then you should say within yourself and say, okay, well, my father wasn't there for me, so I'm not gonna do that to my child. I'm not gonna continue, the generational curse. And then, a lot of guys when they get to the point where they want to deal with their child and their child is old enough to understand what what's going on, if their mother haven't put things in their head and say that, hey, your father, he was a deadbeat. Your father, he didn't really want you. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes mothers do that. They play the other parent against their child. So now the child has to think on their own pretty much who to believe. They don't know what to believe. They don't know who to believe, but whatever information is being fed to you, especially, if the relationship ended on bad terms, a lot of times, they speak out of hurt, they speak out of anger, so they say things that's not necessarily true. So child grows up with this notion that, hey, my father was this, my father was that, and it may not be that. But I'm talking about when it is that. What do you do? How do you handle that? So it's just, it's crazy to me. You know, Fathers are needed, because they are supposed to be the first examples that a child sees. And men in general, women in general, they don't have a problem following the man, but if they see that that man is not taking care of his responsibilities, if they see that that man, if he's, if he don't take care of his responsibilities, if they see he's weak minded, they're not gonna follow him. You gotta be, you gotta be strong. You may have a hard time dealing with because having a child is, of course, is a very great responsibility, and everybody cannot handle that, and everybody's not ready for it. But you can't say, "Well, I'm gonna run out," which is easy for you to do. But then, like I said, when your child gets older and they want to know what's going on, you're gonna have to tell them what it is. You can't keep running forever. You're gonna have to let them know, "Hey, I didn't want you. Hey, I was young. I didn't, I wasn't trying to have a child or whatever. But this is what happens when you have sex. It only take one time, and they're gonna want answers. They're gonna have questions. They're gonna want answers. They're gonna want you to tell them. And if you don't tell them, somebody else will. Or they're gonna try. They'll try to twist it, twist the story. You got to be the one to tell them. Because rather you tell them than somebody else tell them. Because now somebody else tell them whatever somebody else tell them, it might not be the truth. It might not be what they like or what they want to hit. And fathers is needed because it's just so many women out here that they just alone. You know, they don't know. There's a lot of stress on them. And as a father, you're supposed to be responsible enough to say, hey, okay, I know you've been going through. I know that you've been having a lot to do because a lot of women, they work, they go to school, they gotta cook, they gotta cook the food, they gotta come home, they gotta attend to their child. Even when they're tired, they still gotta do it. They still do their share, but you gotta be the one to say, okay, I'm gonna take the load off for you, and I'm gonna help you out. Even if it's just cleaning around the house. A lot of guys don't even do that. They just want one thing. They want to sleep with you, and then once they get what they want, they out. They don't want nothing to do with you after that. So a lot of us come from that. So your father, your young father, old father, whatever. You're responsible for what you allowed to happen, and that's what you allow to happen. You have a child. There's too many children out here fending for themselves. There's too many women out here fending for themselves, and a lot of times the reason why you see a lot of women stepping into things and places that men is supposed to be there for is because they ain't got no man in the house, so they have to do it. She probably gotta fix things right now because no man is there to help. But she gotta carry around groceries and struggle going up the stairs or whatever because no man is there to help her. She gotta make sure that her child is straight, her child smelling good, her child looking good, because you ain't there to do it. You know, it's crazy. A lot of guys they say, "Oh, my baby mother, she pissing me off, and she getting on my nerves because she would ask me for money." Dummy, that's your child too. You supposed to take care of your child as well. You supposed to take care of your child as well. She just asking you because she want to make sure that your child is straight, that you made with her. I don't mean to call nobody dummy, but a lot of guys be capping too. They don't tell the whole truth. They tell part of the truth. So if they can tell part of the truth and they could make it seem like she's bugging, she crazy, that's what people gonna go by. That's what people gonna believe. And you know, you gotta make sure that if you do in fact want to be a father, if you are if you want your child to have your last name, why not put a ring on her finger? Why not want to get married to her? If that's what you want to do. You don't have to, but I'm just saying, if that's what you want to do, you might as well. If your child want to have your last name and your child is an extension of you and her together, why not marry her? Why not say, hey, you've been thick and thin, you've been with me, you stuck by me when nobody else would. You might as well marry her. Give her your last name, just like you gave your son and your daughter your last name. You know, you wanna, you want your children to look up to somebody that's respectful, that's responsible. You want your children to say, "My daddy did everything that he could to make sure that me and my mommy, we had what we needed. We didn't want for nothing." You want to make sure that they speak highly of you. You don't want them to bash you. You don't want them to tell people that you was a deadbeat or you weren't there, you was non-existent. You know what I'm saying? Fathers need it, man. You know, we're supposed to be the ones that lead out. We're supposed to be the men. We're supposed to, help. We're supposed to be the head of our household. We're supposed to do what we have to do, regardless of what happens in our lives. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be hard? Yes, but it can be done. You want to support your child in everything that they do, especially if it's sports or it's something that they involved in, writing or arts or whatever like that. You want, like I say, you want your child to be able to say, "Excuse me, my dad is a respectful man. He was there for every game. He was there for every appointment. He was there, even though he had to work sometimes. Sometimes he couldn't get off, but he didn't allow life situations and life things to get him to take care of us. So fathers is needed, man. We're needed. And it's just sad because a lot of times society and the world, they focus on dads that's not there. But they really talk about the ones that are there, that are doing what they gotta do. You know, some guys, they just they be acting out, they be out here acting like they ain't got no children. They act like they don't know what they gotta do. But I'm just saying, if you want change, be the change that you want to see. And don't allow things to continue that was traumatizing to you. You know, we got a lot of damaged kids, and then damaged kids, if you don't get your kids the proper help, the professional help, the counseling, or whatever, they're gonna grow up to be damaged adults, and then it's gonna continue on. They're gonna get in relationships with people, and they're gonna be damaged. They're gonna, they're not gonna know how to handle these things. These things, when you don't confront things and you don't deal with things, they come up later. They may not come up now, but they're gonna come up at some point. And you gotta be able to, deal with it when it comes. So, like this video, I want you to like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section below if you like what you heard and you say, Isaac, you're right, or I've been through that, or I'm trying to change the narrative, or I'm trying to break them generational curses, man. Let me know what you think. And hope that this video, finds you well. I hope that, it gets you to think. And I hope that, what I've said was something that you may have gone through in your childhood, something that you say, I'm not going to let it continue. I'm going to be better and I'm going to do better. Because when you know better, you do better. So, Isaac,